I used to be scared of everything, especially faces if they didn't look normal. When I was 4, a new film was about to be released and I saw their version of death on a magazine cover. It terrified me, and it's only a white face. I was even scared of people who had beards because it covered their faces. But thanks to being scared of everything, you can imagine I had a lot of nightmares. Didn't help, I thought the house was haunted too. I still remember the majority of the nightmares I had. And now they're returning, full force, to the extent of when I wake up. They're still there. I'm scared to go to sleep, but I'm exhausted and can't help but drop off sometimes. It started a week ago, when I bought a cheap dream catcher from a local charity shop. And before you ask, yeah, I've already destroyed it. It didn't help. I'm cursed now, and that's it. I know one day one of the things I dreamed up will kill me. The first thing that came out was a being I called Pumpkinhead. More a trickster and annoyance than a danger. A guy with a pumpkin for a head who wears a 3-piece suit and likes to jump out and scare me, laugh, and run away. He doesn't really scare me, though, anymore. Still tries, but has realized I've got used to finding him hiding behind doors and random other places. Second was 2 days later, the night before I'd had a standard dream that didn't produce anything in reality. I thought Pumpkinhead was a one-off at the time, but he wasn't. It just turned out only things that scare me come out. What came out the second time was something that I couldn't see, only hear. It decided to live in my walls. Yet another annoyance more than a danger. However, I do have holes in my walls where it decided to knock them through to shout at all times of day and night. I tried having a friend over to hear it, but when he was here, he went quiet. It's peaceful, but my friends also think I'm going insane. The third was the night after. This one was a danger, but wasn't interested in me for some reason. Let's just say the first friend that came over didn't go home. The thing I dreamed, I've never seen directly. It's humanoid, I think. It looks like a shadow. I only ever see it out the corner of my eye or in reflections. It makes a whistling sound whenever it's around, and when my friend Mike came over, he heard it from the bathroom and went to investigate. I told him not to, but he didn't listen. Now he lives in the bathroom mirror, and I'm sorry, Mike, but anything that reflects is staying in the dark, covered by whatever I could find. The fourth thing I dreamt about has done the most damage up to now. I had Mike's 2 brothers round asking if I'd seen him. Obviously, I lied. I also didn't want them to come in, but they saw how crap I looked and thought I needed a friend, so forced themselves in for a cup of tea and a chat to make sure I was all right. We sat at the kitchen table, curtains drawn to keep reflections away. I'd had the light on, and the younger of the brothers, Sam, decided to turn them off, tell me I needed natural light, and open the curtains. They then thought I was crazy after screaming, "Don't!" as loud as I could. He did anyway, and promptly saw Mike in my kitchen in the reflection of the glass. He started to shout at me, saying he knew Mike was here and that he'll find him. The older brother, Paul, however, told him he was looking in the direction of where Sam saw Mike the whole time, and that he was obviously just distraught at Mike going missing. I agreed and tried to rush them out of the house. I wish they had the chance. As soon as I told them to leave, the kitchen door slammed shut and wouldn't budge. The brothers wondered why I wasn't trying to help. I didn't reply. I just sat defeated. Then the creature showed itself. A lump grew in the middle of the table, and then it waited until Sam noticed it. He asked what it was. I ignored it and just shrugged my shoulders, but then it kept growing. First, it was a head, and then shoulders, the rest of the torso and arms. Sam and Paul were screaming, trying to break open the door. I'd accepted my fate and sat watching the thing grow. When its hands were out, it gripped hold of the table and pulled itself out. A man then stood on my table, its skin a wooden texture with little food and beer stains. It didn't do anything for a few seconds, tilting its head to his side, confused as to what was happening. Sam tried to run past it to smash the window, but as he did, it reached out and grabbed him by his hair. He tried breaking free, and Paul came to help by punching the thing in what was likely its face. It didn't work. Nothing would, and I knew it. I remembered the nightmare from my childhood and the night before, and knew there was nothing to do. It grabbed him by the throat with its other hand and lifted him in the air with ease. Then its feet started to be absorbed by the table again, and it was taking the brothers with it. I couldn't help them. I knew it was stronger than me. I resigned to the fact that the brothers were already dead. As soon as part of whichever brother hit the top of the table first, it wasn't absorbed the same as the creature, instead acting like a grinder. It tore the flesh apart. By the end of it all, the table was a blood-soaked mess. I managed to partly clean the kitchen, but the table seemed to be stained forever. After that, I tried to stay awake as long as possible, but I fell asleep this morning. I had a new dream, one I never experienced as a child, but as with the others, this one also came true. When I awoke, the dream catcher I bought and subsequently destroyed after Mike's brothers were killed was back in my bedroom, hanging by my window. I hurriedly got out of bed, pulled the dream catcher down, and shouted at it, "What do you want from me?" I knew there was no answer, that it wouldn't reply, but I kept repeating myself over and over and over and over and over again, hoping something would tell me how to stop it. There was a knock at the door. Wiping away my tears, I went to check through the peephole who it was, and was surprised to see Mike on the other side. I opened the door in excitement, hoping it was really him. As soon as that foot entered my house, however, I remembered the nightmare. I knew it wasn't him, and then he confirmed it. His skin began to tear all over his face, wounds opened, spouting blood everywhere. His face became a mess of raw meat before rearranging itself, new skin starting to grow in place of the old. By this point, I punched it. Punched myself, hoping I was still dreaming, fallen backwards as it pushed me away, and I sat there terrified. When it had finished, I was looking at a perfect recreation of myself, looking down at me, waiting for a reaction. It sniffed the air and smiled before walking over and snatched the dream catcher still in my hand. This was it. My time was up. I knew what it was waiting for. The moment my eyes felt heavy, the moment I would have no defense against it, they would close again and I'd fall asleep. It would take me to its dream realm and replace me in reality, to live my life, to kill more people, more of my friends. But more importantly, to keep me asleep, comatose, for it to bring out more and more nightmares. I'm writing this to tell you all to avoid me if you see me. I'm getting tired, and I don't know how long I can last. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for listening to this narration. I just wanted to give a quick thank you to all of my patrons who are subscribed over at my Patreon. We have a great big thank you from me to you, Alonzo, Kozak, Icy Narrates, Jesse Hartley, Andreas Anderson London, and Geek Sanctuary. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. If you would like to support too, just check out the links in my description. And thank you again for listening. I hope to see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.